Hello everyone and welcome to this reading of Ruby on the Outside. We left off on 44, kind of right at the top there, and we're going to pick up where we left off. Well, let's get started. But you can bet if Margaret's mom weren't right here, Yvette and Beatrice wouldn't be being so patient. Moo, you're doing it again. Margaret's mother was going to start to protect me again, but time is running out, and we are only getting older and closer to 6th grade by the second, so I just say it. Okay, sure, tomorrow night. Really fast, before I have a chance to come up with more reasons why this is a bad idea and change my mind, Margaret starts jumping up and down. Oh, Mom, can you make us homemade macaroni and cheese? And can we bake cookies afterward and then do FIMO clay? Okay, hold on. She's smiling. Ruby, it's Ruby, right? I nod. Well, first we'll have to ask your mom, Margaret's mom says. Do you want me to call her? Oh no, that's okay, I say. I'll ask her when I get home. That's when Yvette seemed to come back to life. Okay then, Yvette said, all settled. Let's get you home, Ruby. Bye, Mrs. Tips. See you tomorrow. Tips? Beatrice adds in, see you tomorrow, Mrs. Tips. And somewhere in the back of my head, that name sounds familiar. But I am more concerned with how I am going to go to Margaret's house for dinner tomorrow afternoon without having to then invite her to my house. But maybe this will finally turn out to be my very first, very real best friend, and maybe everything is going to work out perfectly. Chapter 8. It wasn't like we didn't have our own story. We did. Mostly the story between Matu and me about my mother was to hate Nick Sands. I never liked him, Matu would say. Not from the first moment I met him. He wasn't nice to your mother. Oh, sure, he said all the right things. Baby doll, beautiful creature. He had all of the lines, but that's all they were, lines. I can't remember my mother at all from our time with Nick. I like to imagine her, though. I like to pretend. I have this movie in my head of the two of us living alone, and I am just a baby. And because in order to have a good fantasy to really work, you need to weave in some factual details. We live somewhere outside of Albany. We live in a little house, 1 story, yellow with white shutters. Or sometimes it's red shutters, because that part I have to make up. My mother makes pies for a living, which means she is in the kitchen all day, and I get to play with pots and pans on the floor right next to her. She sings while she is cooking, and at the end of the day, we eat pies for dinner. Then she gives me a bath and brushes my hair with a brush, while she tells me a bedtime story about her own magical childhood. I had to make all that up, too. I can't remember anything specific from before my mom went to prison. We don't talk about my real dad, but I know my mom was really young when she had me. So I think when Nick came around, she wanted so badly for someone to love and take care of her, take care of us, that she would have done anything for him. At least that's how Matu describes it. The truth is, I don't want to hear even that much, but sometimes my mom tries to tell me things. One visit, about a year ago, we were in the Children's Center, which is that separate area of the visitor's room at Bedford Hills. There are toys and stuffed animals and books and art supplies and posters. So when you are in there, you can almost pretend you are in a nursery school somewhere instead of a prison.